Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Roger.
And today we're going to preview this Saturday's HBO, probably World Championship Boxing, which features Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado, Part 3. And for a quick recap, in the first fight, Brandon Rios was defending his 140-pound title, stopped Alvarado in the 7th round. Rematch, Alvarado fights seemingly the same fight, begins to boxes circles around Rios, wins the rematch. Since then, he has lost that said title to Ruslan Provodnikov by a 10th round knockout.
Not surprising.
And then he was beaten by Juan Manuel Marquez, which is no shame in that because it's Juan Manuel Marquez. He's
also,
guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Also not surprising.
Right. And then you have Brandon Rios, who went on to fight Manny Pacquiao. We all know how that turned out. And then he got suspended for, testing positive and all this other stuff. Then he fought Diego Chavez, however they say it. And that was one of the ugliest fights of last year.
Probably the ugliest.
Yeah, and he ended up winning by DQ after, like I said, one of the ugliest fights that we saw all year. So now they're back together. How is this gonna go?
Make or break it here. We're talking about two guys who have had their ups and have had their downs. The winner of this fight is going to continue their career at fairly high level fights at 140, is this at 140 or 147?
140.
140, which we know Rios always has trouble making weight. And Alvarado, who was never projected to be a huge star, or in a star.
I think it is at 147. Sorry about that.
Might be at 147. But he was never projected to be a huge star.
No.
But he has done the best with what he's got and has been successful. Just remember they're in a stacked division, which they may be fed to some of those top fighters, especially with Danny Garcia moving up. And of course we know the rest of what's going on in 147. That's just a bunch of stuff. But Rios had the stamina. He still had that motor to walk Alvarado down, land those heavy punches, grind it out, and break him down like he did in the first fight. But with Alvarado not get dragged into a slugfest with Rios again and maintain his boxing. Now that loss to Provodnikov, that was
pretty bad.
It was bad. And on Rios' end, with not great conditioning, and that fight to Manny Pacquiao, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that takes some years off you getting beat like that.
So how much do these guys have left?
Enough to give us a damn good fight. I tell you that. These guys have come together twice and have given us good fights, and I think that they will do so again. Now, like Rob said, it's a story of who's going to be able to impose their will. I mean, what fight is it? But it is up to Rios to cut that ring off, a skill that we have told you many times has been lost upon modern boxing coaches. But if he can regain that skill, I can see him stopping Alvarado again. Late. Alvarado is a tough guy. He can take some punishment. He can give it back. And he can survive. But if Rios can cut that ring off, land those heavy left hooks that he has, I think he can wear him down. Now, if he's the Brandon Rios that we all have come accustomed to seeing, I think Alvarado pulls it out narrowly by remembering to do a little bit of circling, because cutting off the ring is a curse word to Brandon Rios.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make Rios follow you, turn him. I mean, don't get caught up in a firefight, because what we've seen in those last two fights is Alvarado is not gonna win in extended trades. He just doesn't have the firepower.
Right.
But he is slightly faster.
Yes.
And he does have more success from the outside.
Yes. In both fights, he did great on the outside, tagging Rios with long right hands, long left hooks, jabs, and moving afterwards. If he can keep that up, he'll do just fine. But that is the question. Because like we said with Brandon Rios, the losses to Provodnikov and Marquez can take some out of you. He was beaten in a submission by Provodnikov, and he was dropped. It was only once, right, by Marquez. He was dropped by Marquez, who is like featherweight.
But he's gotten stronger, and he is a sharpshooter.
Yes, that's true.
And once you get dropped by a punch, they don't see coming.
That is true as well. So, like I said earlier, if he can keep that distance, keep that movement going, and he's only got to do it for 6-7 rounds, he's got himself a win. Brandon Rios can do that for 5 rounds, cut off the ring, work the body, do that double left hook body head combination. I think he can get him out of there in about 8 rounds.
But he has to come in shape.
Yes, which is also something that he has a problem with. So, we'll see what happens on Saturday night. I'm thinking Alvarado pulls it off very narrowly if he doesn't get knocked out. What about you?
I see Alvarado taking some punishment but pulling it out because he remembers, like in that second fight, to box and not to get into a slugfest.
Yeah. He tried it with Provodnikov. It didn't work because Provodnikov is a much stronger guy. But I think he can pull it off with Rios. So let's see. Maybe Rios learns how to box himself and then surprises everybody. And, wins a 12-round decision. It's possible. This is boxing. People getting hit in the face. Anything can happen. So, we're looking forward to the fight. Hope you guys are too. That's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with your friends, all your boxing friends. And if you guys want to, leave us with a comment below. How do you think the fight's going to go? Hit us up on our Facebook page, Capital of Combat. You can hit us up on Google+, same name. You can hit us up on our email, capitalofcombat@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions, you can hit us up on any 3 of those platforms. We can get you in the combat mailbag. We love to hear from the fans and talk to you guys just like we're having a virtual face-to-face conversation. Catch you guys in the next episode. And you guys be safe out there. Peace.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming at cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.